Hey everyone, and welcome to the Dota 2 Builds of the Week, the weekly series where I show you guys top 5 meta builds to help you get started with new heroes in Dota 2. This week we're starting with Position 1 hard carry, Wraith King. Wraith King always finds himself in the meta. He's sometimes hovering in it, kind of in and out, but overall Wraith King has a tremendous win percentage across all MMR brackets despite having a couple nerfs being done over time. But the build is relatively straightforward. You're building Wraith Fire Blast into Mortal Strike, value points in each, and then you're focusing on maxing out Vampiric Spirit first. The reason for this is because what you want to do is you want to maximize Vampiric Spirit ability to let you farm faster. You want to have vision in the jungle, you want to be using your skeletons to farm those camps while you're farming as well and moving back into lane. Focusing on Vampiric Spirit early allows you to get an advantage in your farm, which is what Wraith King excels at. You can even skip Reincarnation at 6, go 4 straight points in Vampiric Spirit, and then getting Reincarnation at 7 allows you to farm even faster. With regards to starting items, I recommend these ones here. It is so important you build a magic wand because a lot of people often don't realize, especially the new players which frequent this channel, that you need 180 mana to actually self-cast Reincarnation. So if you're getting gone on and you don't have that mana, you need the wand to ensure that you don't just feed. From there are 2 primary builds. There's the Radiance build, which is the one I recommend for new players. You basically go Gloves of Haste into Radiance into Blink, and you basically just get on top of enemies and you be really aggressive. You also have the Armlet Midas build, where basically you go Midas into Armlet, and then it allows you to kind of be more of a scrappier fighter. There are even pros right now that are going Armlet into Radiance with a delayed timing of the Radiance of about 20 to 21 minutes, but you are getting the Armlet, which allows you to fight a little earlier. It's a tremendous build, a tremendous hero, and one that is relatively straightforward to play if you're a new player, and I will link a full guide on him up above so you guys can get started with Wraith King. In Position 2 mid, Outworld Destroyer is one of those heroes that has been quietly one of the best performers in the current patch. What you're looking for is value points in Arcane Orb and in Essex Flux. Both of them provide you with very good 1-point bonuses. From there, you're going to be focusing in on Astral Imprisonment and taking Sanity's Eclipse at level 6. The reason for this is it times perfectly with your Meme Hammer, because you're literally rushing it. You're going starting items Tango, Branch, into Crown, which is one of the primary components of Meteor Hammer. The Meteor Hammer is going to give you a lot of HP regen, a lot of mana regeneration, and attributes, but most importantly, it's the setup with Astral Imprisonment into Meteor Hammer that allows you to be so effective as an OD. That is the bread and butter of OD. Basically, you Astral Imprisonment someone just before, and just as they come out, you drop the hammer on top of them because they're in the imprisonment. While the charge of the hammer's happening, they can't do anything. They're just waiting to get hit. So practice that in the demo lobby. From there, you're building a Power Tread into Blink Dagger, so you can blink Astral Imprisonment and then use your Meteor Hammer. BKB into Aghanim Scepter, which improves Astral Imprisonment. And then from there, your optional items. I do really like the Magic Wand. Infused Raindrop's extremely valuable as well. Hurricane Pike is often built on the Outworld Destroyer in order to create distance between anyone that initiates on top of him. And of course, you have the Scythe of the Vise. What's important to understand is that Scythe of the Vise is important because obviously the active is amazing, but because of the intelligence as well, because Outworld Destroyer has abilities that really benefit from mana, specifically Sanity's Eclipse. The more mana you have compared to the opponent, the more damage you do. And then you have Arcane Orb as well that does mana pool to damage at 16%. So it's very important that you maximize your mana, and intelligence allows you to do that. OD, low-key, one of the top mids of the current patch. Can you believe it's another week and we're talking about Marci once again? This time, she has solidified herself as a Position 3 offlaner. Some are playing her in mid as well. The build has changed though from the last week as the meta has evolved. Basically, you're looking at new talents because they've also been changed, but also you're looking at a different skill build. What you're doing is you're building towards starting items that build into a Bracer and a Magic Stick. The Magic Stick building into a Wand later, which is really helpful for her sustain. You're also building an Orb of Corrosion. The additional health helps her lane, but also the slow and the added damage caused by the armor really works well with Unleash to lock someone down and hold them in place while you're doing the damage. Armlet is like insane on Marci because the added damage, strength, and all the output that you're able to get from Armlet is magnified by Unleash, which gives you an incredible amount of kill potential. You're going into Phase Boots and Black King Bar. Black King Bar basically allows you to not get controlled while you're utilizing your Unleash, and Basher allows you to lock down enemies so that you can, well, unleash your fury on them. With regards to optional items, you got your Blink Daggers, your Hooded Defiance, which is great on her if you're against the magic heavy lineup. The key thing is though, as a 3, you're being a little more selfish. Like an Underlord, you'd go from Hooded Defiance into a pipe. You can still build a pipe as Marci, but you're more beneficial to your team in the current patch, building these aggressive offensive items. Nullifiers, Silver's Edges, Desolators. You want to do as much damage as you can, and that's where Marci certainly shines. She is doing a tremendous amount of damage, and in fact, she can 1v1 almost any carry at any point in the game with her Unleash, Sidekick, and then itemization combinations. Enigma has been quietly one of the highest percentage heroes of the current patch, and you can play him at position 3, but position 4 is also a very interesting place for him because you can effectively use his talents as a jungler here and there, which I know a lot of you League players really appreciate. You're looking for a jungler, which is not too common in Dota, but with Enigma here, you can basically harass in the lane, do some work in the lane. You use Demonic Conversion to deny a incoming creep, the range creep on your side. You take that creep into the enemy jungle, you take a camp or two, you come back, and you help your position 3. It only really works well if you have a position 3 who can solo lane effectively, bristlebacks, underlords, guys like that, centaurs. It's also very important to understand, like, the balance is like, how to lane and how to jungle. Enigma is tricky in that sense. It's also very important you understand is you should never first phase pick him. You want to make sure you pick him in the second phase so that if there's a Rubik on the other side, you pick someone else. You don't want to be countered by a Rubik as an Enigma. It feels absolutely terrible. But overall, he's an amazing hero. You take as much mana regeneration as you can early, including the Arcane Boots, which is recently buffed. You're going Blink Dagger into BKB, which allows you to get off your Midnight Pulse Black Hole combo, both of which pierce spell immunity, and then you need to get the item shard. It is so fantastic, and if you're against a Rubik or anybody that can really cause you problems, an additional Lincoln Sphere is beneficial as well. And the ultimate combination is Midnight Pulse Black Hole Refresher, Midnight Pulse Black Hole. So just remember though that at like level 20 you will have enough mana to cast Black Hole and Midnight Pulse Refresher Black Hole. But if you happen to finish it earlier, mind your mana, do the math, because you might not be able to do the full combo if you're a little short on mana. As we talk about position 5 Jakiro, a reminder that all links to every build I'm providing you are down below in the Steam Workshop. But Jakiro has been one of the highest win rate position 5 heroes for the last little while, and it's only fitting we talk about him now. Jakiro is one of those heroes that is a really straightforward playstyle, but is very effective at low MMRs because he does the things you want to do. He pushes lanes, he stays back, and he has tremendous abilities with regards to basically defending towers, but also having a stun and an ice path. The build is relatively straightforward. You're doing a dual breath, that is your main focus for harassment and for damage in lane. You're taking a value point in liquid fire. The main effect here is the attack slow on both towers and on units, so you can really kind of annoy the opposing carry by really slowing their attack. You have your ice path, which is fantastic. A nice stun, and a little bit of damage there. Mind the formation delay, you'll get used to using it, honestly. And the macro pyre, which is a great ability for defending towers. Anytime you see a tower under siege, you basically want to TP there and macro pyre to ensure that the enemies can't just step in and take the tower. Starting items wise, you're taking as much regen as you can. Healing cell for your position 1. You're taking as much regeneration as you can with regards to mana. That is one of the main things that Jakiro struggles with. And a Yule Scepter Divinity, which can be both a save for you, but a setup for your ice path. You'll Yule someone as they're landing, you cast the ice path, and ironically, it's actually pretty easy for relatively new players because of the formation delay of ice path. As they're landing and you cast, it should time perfectly that they land and then they're frozen in place. It's a little easier to land than most. So that's pretty good. Optional items, right? A lot of players are going Magic Wand, and then you got the usual support items. If you're against Bloodseekers or other kind of like heroes that'll really take advantage of like your lack of health, or if you need more sustained health-wise, Arcane Boots can be valuable. You basically break down the Arcane Boots, build yourself an Aether Lens, and get your Tranquil Boots instead. Then you have the usual items of, Glimmer Cape, Force Staff, Ghost Scepter, the usual support stuff. His Agnum Shard is actually pretty good as well, worth taking. The Scepter, if the game goes long, is definitely worth it as well. But, Solar Crest, if you have a right-clicking carry, Jakiro stands pretty far back, doesn't really need the armor, because if someone goes on him, he's probably dead anyway. So it really helps to amplify your carry, and Rod of Eidos is pretty damn good on Jakiro. Not only does it kind of go well with Ice Path, you Ice Path someone, then you Rod of Vados them, or the other way around, then they're forced to sit in Macropire. They take a ton of damage. He's a great hero. He really is, and Rod of Vados is often chronically underbuilt on him, so don't be scared to build it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of our wonderful subscribers. We'll see you in the next video.